All right, so in the last several videos, we've been working on wiring and the other car, obviously. And hopefully by the end of this one, my intention is to have this thing busted off. Just like that, it's the next day. We got started maybe an hour, wasn't even anything enough to record, getting a transmission cross member back in, and the power went out, and it stayed out. So we had to start fresh today. I think I'm going to tackle the radiator core support. Got to get it out, sand on it, get some kind of decent coating of paint on it, and then I guess get ready to put it in. All right, so far I've gotten some stuff pulled off of this side. I've sanded everything from here over and I've put etching primer on it. Just something to clean it up a little bit. I'll get all this painted. I pulled this bracket off. Gonna get it painted. Gonna get the horns pulled apart and rework and just sand the contacts. And throw the original core support back in that's already been out once. And start putting everything back together. Gonna have all this thrown back together here in a little while. And then it's just a matter of moving on to the next step. Last night my father came in from work. We messed around with the car some, but it wasn't a whole lot of work done, so I didn't feel like it was really pertinent as far as filming. We did get the drive shaft done, and I actually just now took some emery cloth to it and polished the yoke here in just a bit. I'll oil it up slightly and throw it in the car. And we did some work on the radiator mounting. We discovered here recently that if it mounted on the inside for the V8, which we bought the V8 radiator, and I had a V8 cross member right over there in the corner, or I say cross member, core support, we had no room for a fan, because by the time it cleared this, as far as distance, it would have to be brought out too far, and there was just a whole bunch of other semantics. So we decided to put it in the V6, or straight 6 position rather, and realized that the radiator did not fit. So we got to looking, and of course Dan Chuck sells some of these for 50 bucks. We just made our own. So after a lot of test work, a lot of fitting, we realized that's where we wanted it. We had to build some extensions for the transmission lines, That was interesting, having to do the, I think it's called a double flare, trying to measure and mock everything out. We may have to address some possible rubbing through here. We'll get to that though. But anyway, I've got this first bracket on the left side that matches this one being painted right now. I'm just doing them one at a time so I don't get them confused. Bolt it in. Then I'll do this one. Then I'll set the radiator down for the final time. Bolt it in. And put the clutch fan on. We'll see about getting it busted off maybe this afternoon. All right, let's see what this does. Okay. Yeah. All
right, buddy, try it.
So at this point, we're getting the timing light ready. We're gonna try and time it and trying to figure out how to idle this thing down, because this carburetor is not one that I'm familiar with, and someone, being my father, has lost paperwork. So it runs like ass. We've lost probably half the transmission fluid that we purchased for this, but hey, it cranks. So let's see if we can smooth it out some maybe. This thing hasn't moved since, I know it was put in storage. Dad said 16 years ago. I think I'd said 25 plus earlier, but yeah, still not gonna move. Apparently we don't have any gear selection, so let's try this again. Okay, update. Shifter linkage has been giving us trouble. We can't quite get it to stay attached, so to speak, so I think we're gonna end up having to TIG it. So we just pushed the car out next to my house, and we're gonna flush the block now so that we can hook lines up, put some water and stuff in it, and then get it timed. Okay, so at this point we have gotten the timing set. We've run into a lot of small issues which were expected, but gonna try and see if we can get brake cable on it, or brake cable. Gonna try and see if we can get brake pedal on it and see if it'll move under its own power for the first time in 16 plus years.
Alright, little disclaimer here. While you can't see anything very well in the video, we could see in person still at this time, number one. And secondly, all of the area that was driven was owned by us. It's private property. We never touched a public road. Not to mention we didn't travel fast. So, yeah.
And we're off. And this is the first time it's ran in over 16 years. Now, obviously, like we just said, we ran into a lot of bugs. The shifter linkage needs to be severely adjusted. The brakes need to be bled. Again, something's going on with the wiring, which is to be expected because the instructions were less than desirable. But that was, I mean, you're not going to finish something like this and not run into problems. So, and it shifts. Which beats the 84 whenever we took the first trip down this road and it stayed in first wide open. Private road, car is insured, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to the driveway right up ahead and making another loop. Woo, it runs like shit. God, but it shifts. And it's lumpy. That's fine, yeah. You can't see jack shit, but we are moving about 15, 20 miles an hour. I did want to get that on the video because we have busted our ass to get this thing going. And I'm pretty sure we have a flat because one spot on a tire. We've got the cam lobe transferring over to the suspension. This motor came out of the 57, and when we first cranked it, I looked at Dad and I said, "Does this thing have a cam?" And he said, "No, it just runs like shit." I couldn't remember. I mean, it's been, God, this motor hasn't ran in 6+ years probably.
Well, I also unhooked the vacuum thing.
Yeah, that kind of jacked it up. So, yeah. Now I need to steal the tires off of the other 2 tires off of the 4-door. See if I can get it to stop. Yeah, it stopped under its own power. Sweet. And the wiring's jacked, so the key doesn't kill it. So. But hey, it runs. All right. As you can see, the car's pulled back up. It made the block. Brakes suck. The shifter linkage adjustment suck. The wiring sucks. I probably lost $30 worth of transmission fluid today from the detent cable. It leaked like a screen door on a submarine, as we can see. The rear end was completely out of oil. But anyway, yeah, it's pulled under its own power, which is a huge accomplishment for me because we kept running into problem after problem after problem. I also want to give a big thanks to my dad. He's been hammering along with me with this project, and it's been hell. It's been stressful. It's been fun, but there's been a lot of times I've gotten aggravated, and there's still going to be many to come. And my buddy Caleb, who's been in a video or 2 before, you're going to start seeing more of him. We've decided to start trying to tag team this YouTube thing more together. So we'll start to split the channel up between both of us. We'll work together, have a ton of projects between the 2 of us. We've got the Bel Air, we've got the 66. My dad's working on the Nomad, which I'll help with. I have a 4-door Bel Air and a 2-door hardtop down the road at my grandfather's. And I also happen to have an MG Midget and a 51 or 52 model Kaiser Frazier that we have plans for. So those will be some awesome and fun projects, but I have to get some of these eliminated first because I am notorious for starting projects, quitting them, and jumping onto others. So yeah, stick around. There's going to be plenty of more episodes to come, plenty more content while I balance work and upcoming college again. But yeah, we'll hopefully keep the channel going, keep it growing, and enjoy ourselves along the way.